So here's what I want to do. I want to talk Halloween Kills right off of the bat. We're gonna hop right
Okay.
into our this week's movie news, um, because there have been some really interesting developments today. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna release this first little segment um, tonight, which we're recording this on Thursday night. So this first little bit's gonna be out before the rest of the episode. Uh, Now, I didn't even plan on talking about Halloween at all tonight. There was a ton of Marvel news, and I had no plans of talking about Halloween at all. But of course, the stuff that happened this morning changed that. Sean Giroux, the great group of guys over at Fandom Empire, they dropped some pretty bombshell, crazy, revealing news this morning. And you know, we're not in the business of stealing news from anybody. I actually reached out to Sean this morning, and I was like, "Hey, is it okay if we, I know you guys broke this. Is it okay if we talk about this on our show?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's fine, man. It's fair game." So thank you to them for letting us
I
talk
about to say,
Halloween
bro,
ends.
this ain't news network, okay? We're
Well,
not fighting against CNN and Fox News.
I know,
Is it?
but
We're just a community of guys that just
we are.
tell news.
And
So
at the end of the day, that's
that's
what
why
all
I
of these
like this
channels are,
better.
man. That's why I wanted to do this because or like do this show, and now we're in our
Mhm.
31st week of doing the show, half a year. Um, so I really wanted to be a part of this community, and that's why we love doing this thing.
Yeah.
And we're honored to share this thing with the Wham guys and Dave and Sean and everybody else that does this. But we wanted to share our thoughts about this crazy Halloween Ends news because I'm not gonna lie, this kind of ripped the rug out from under me as I did it.
It
I
did as
think it
well to
did
me.
for most people. From what I gather, most people are pretty like shocked about this.
Hmm.
As everybody knows, tomorrow morning, if you're listening on Thursday, uh, tomorrow morning, the Total Film this month's issue of Total Film drops, and obviously we've all seen the front cover, dope shot of Christopher Nelson's Halloween Kills mask. And if you're listening on Friday, go pick a copy up because this thing is going to be cool. I'm really excited to see what else is in it, and this news makes me all the more excited to know what else Jamie Lee Curtis and Malika Akkad and David Gordon Green are going to drop in this thing because again, this is wild. So according to new reports, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends will not take place on the same night, which is contrary to what we have all been under the the idea of for the last, really since Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends were announced. But David Gordon Green confirmed that Halloween Ends will take place, and I quote, a few years later.
Okay.
I I don't know. I was like, what? It's like that doesn't make any sense to me. So I mean, let's talk about it. If you followed anybody in the Halloween space, last couple of months, especially since all this stuff about Halloween Kills was coming out, it's been confirmed for quite a while that Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends were all going to take place on the exact same night. Which I know you got to suspend your disbelief a little bit. I know a lot of diehard fans are like, well, if Halloween is at Halloween 2018 is at 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then Kills is from 10 o'clock to 4 a.m. I mean, it's just like it's a movie. You know what I mean? Like, just take it for what it is. It's a movie.
Mhm.
Just enjoy the movie. Um,
Yeah. But that's wild. If I did, I whenever you sent me that text, I was thinking it was gonna be like like a day or two afterwards or something like
no,
that. But damn, a couple of years, that's gonna seem like I don't know. The momentum of Halloween Kills is gonna get kind of thrown out of the rug.
man, I thought the same exact thing. Uh, you know,
You know what
here's
I
the
fear?
thing.
I'm kind of worried. Sorry. My initial
You're good.
thought was Halloween Ends probably isn't going to be as impactful again as we may speculate. And
Well,
sorry if that upsets a lot of people. I mean, I'm sure that's a worry for a good number of fans that the point of Halloween Kills, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends is the fact that I mean, it's supposed to be like kind of a quote unquote all out war with Michael Myers.
Mhm.
But now that Halloween Ends is supposed to end, it's supposed to take place years later. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what does that mean? I mean, like, I don't know. If Halloween Kills is going to be the movie that ends that this specific night that we've all been talking about, like, what is Halloween Ends going to be about?
Right.
Honestly,
It
it's just going to be
raises
like another reboot ish kind of movie.
it raises a lot of questions, and the interesting thing is that it raises questions that I would have never asked before. And of course, think about this. Did anybody lie? No, but information changes, things change, and I have seen the screenshot of the total film page of David Gordon Green's interview. It's been deleted a couple of places, and I'm honestly, I didn't save it. I should have saved it. I did not. But we'll all see it when this magazine comes out tomorrow morning, anyways. I've got a doctor's appointment in the morning, and then I'm gonna go straight to Kroger and pick one up because I gotta see what's inside of this thing, man.
Mhm.
But from what I understand, David Gordon Green said that COVID and all of the time that they were kind of shut down, they couldn't film Halloween Ends. It gave them a lot of time to go back through the end script and kind of take a step back and look at this and say, okay, what do we like about this? What do we want to change? And apparently, this was something that they wanted to change. They changed up the timeline. Now, are they going to change the timeline to match? So, say suddenly we're going to jump to 2021. I think that's stupid. I don't think that really serves a purpose.
Mhm.
Um, and we've said numerous times, I think you and I are both on the same page about this. Halloween Ends needs to be the end. Michael and Laurie both need to die. No
Mhm.
Michael opening his eyes. No Michael breathing or jumping as soon as the credits roll. No breathing after the credits. He needs to die. It needs to be the end. That's
Yeah.
it. Um, and I don't know, man. This makes me nervous because, like I said before, this poses questions uh, that I wouldn't have asked prior to this and being privy to this knowledge. Um, I don't know. We talked about this too. I think it would have been very beautiful. It would have been a beautiful way to end the original timeline if Halloween literally ends on November 1st in the morning. Like sunrise in the morning. You know what I mean? Like that. I think that would have been cool. It would have been
That would have been
symbolic.
poetic. Yeah,
It would
sure.
have been very poetic. It would have been a cool way to end the story. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of when I saw Sean's stream this morning, and then of course Dave hopped on, and the more and more I thought about it, the more and more kind of just flabbergasted I feel as to kind of like I don't really know. I don't know what to think. I'm a little bit scared now for Halloween Ends. And I don't know anything. I don't know. Again, we haven't read the leak script of how even Halloween Kills. We don't. I'm not into that. Um,
So you heard it from
but
him
I don't know.
first. You from an actual Michael Myers fan. So you gotta understand my perspective of it. I think it's just gonna throw Halloween Ends under the bus. I think Halloween Ends might become a lackluster movie because from what it sounds like in my ears, is this is just gonna be another attempt to reboot the franchise so it continues moving on.
Yeah,
Like they're just gonna continue on with the whole story of I'm so sorry, I forgot her name.
Lori
The family, like the entire family.
Strode,
Yeah, the Strode family. Like the Strode family is going to be affected by this. Like their story is going to continue even past Lori. I
Miguel
think
Miranda,
so.
everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, you understand what I mean, though, right? Like
Absolutely.
this sounds like a a move just to continue this particular storyline with the Strode family and
Yeah.
Michael Myers, because I
Well,
think pretty sure there's a good chance Lori could die in Halloween Kills, and it all leads up to the Strode family to finish it off. That could be that's what I can predict right now based on just relative knowledge from how these franchises work. Honestly, again, this movie. for in Halloween Kills is just not going to be well for the entire show family, or for anybody for that matter. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, because I'm worried about the direction it's going to take. Because again, we haven't read the leaked Halloween Kill script. But with that being said, we do know some surface level things about the movie. And while we don't know how it ends, from what I understand, this is going to be really fast paced. It's going to be really wild. Even with the flashbacks, Halloween Kills does not end well for the protagonist. It doesn't end well for Laurie and her family. It doesn't end well for everybody who survived the original 1978 film. It doesn't end well for Haddonfield. Michael is going to win this this one in Halloween
This
Kills.
movie or like this battle, yeah, pretty
And the
much.
question here, the biggest question for me is if Halloween Kills ends on a very chaotic, fast paced, wild, like holy crap note, and Halloween Ends just immediately picks up 3 years later with no explanation or no uh, prep or setup for that, that's going to be, or it's going to feel very strange to say the least.
Mhm.
And I think it's gonna like you said, the pacing is gonna be thrown off completely. It's gonna be really really strange. Um, so I don't know. Tell me this: do you think we could see half of Halloween Ends take place in 2018, and then the last half of the film maybe jumps forward?
I think like half of the movie Halloween Kills, like half is now and half is later.
No, how half of Halloween Ends. Halloween Kills is gonna be the same night, except for the
Okay.
flashbacks, obviously. But I'm saying, could the beginning of Halloween Ends take place in 2018 on the same night? And then maybe the last quarter, the last chunk of the film maybe jumps 2 or 3 years later? My only fear with that,
It would shorten the blow of Michael Myers. Because why would you have Michael Myers come in? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense.
for me, I feel like it cheapens. If
This
you can't,
entire that entire this entire news cheapens the entire film. Let's be honest.
it cheapens it because you can't just keep doing the same thing. He escaped in 1978. He killed a bunch of people. He got caught. He escapes
Exactly.
in 2018. He kills a whole bunch of people. He gets caught. And then he's
Mhm.
gonna what? Escape again in Halloween Ends? That doesn't make any sense to me. That
Yeah.
it's too redundant. It's too repetitive. And
It's
I don't
also
know.
blowing Laurie's whole phrase
Evil
out of the
dies
water.
tonight, right? Because you
Yeah.
would think Evil dies tonight.
Hmm.
Obviously, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends are going to take place on the same night. Duh, it makes sense. Look at what we know about Halloween Kills so far, or Halloween Ends so far. Excuse me. Jamie Lee Curtis has said, given what she knows about the next film, it'll be the last time she plays her. And of course, that's not. She was very keen on like that's not. I'm not saying Laurie dies, but she's saying emotionally for the story that David Gordon Green and Danny McBride and John Carpenter have written, it won't make any sense for Laurie for there to be another movie after Halloween Ends. Malika Akkad said that Halloween Ends is going to be more contained. It'll be a much more intimate movie than Halloween Kills will be, and that makes sense. I mean, that's fine. Everything that they just said is fine. But when you take what Malika Akkad and Jamie Lee Curtis said with this new information that they're not going to be on the same night, it's kind of like, but that doesn't make as much sense anymore. And it
No, the
raises it
whole
raises too many questions and it raises too many possibilities.
yeah, the whole weight of the initial release trailer kind of just I don't know dwindles down now to my in my eyes because I was expecting like a full out war that happens all night for three movies.
Yeah.
Kind of like a fucking Harry Potter thing. I don't think.
I don't know. And it cheapens, like you said earlier, it cheapens the fact that he escaped again. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? If you're just going to have him escape a third time, it's kind of like, okay, like we've done this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and another thing to think about is his age. I mean, Michael is what? 1978, he was 21 years old. Now he's what, 60, 61, 62.
Mhm.
If we fast forward 2 or 3 years, he's going to be what, 64, 65? I mean, come on, is he going to walk around with life alert hanging around his neck? I mean, like, we're already really kind of lacing the supernatural thing here with the fact that a 60-year-old man can survive all of this and that he's doing this.
Exactly.
it's kind of like the farther we go, he can't be walking around with that walker. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yep.
not. We just he's taken a fire, he's taken a bullet, he's taken fighting Lori, being stabbed, being shot. I mean, it's just like, come on, like. I know he's supernatural, and we have a whole video on this. If you click on our channel, the very first video, the preview video, um, is us talking about the more he kills, the more he transcends that line and Michael's evolution. Um, but I don't know. It just seems wild to me, man.
It seems cheap to me,
Yeah.
honestly. Not
I
as like, budget wise, but just like as a story, it just seems
Right,
cheap
it
to
cheapens
me.
the story, and it makes me worry for how the trilogy is going to end because, as we said, I think Halloween Kills needs to, or Halloween Ends, I keep getting it mixed up. Halloween Ends needs to be the end. It needs to be
Hmm.
the end of the original storyline. No more Jamie Lee Curtis, no more John Carpenter, no more original Michael. It needs to be it. And even think about the mask. Is he going to get a
That
new
mask is
mask?
not holding up.
Because I mean it looks amazing, don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I think my favorite mask of the series. I wish Trick or Treat Studios would unleash this thing, with which I know they have to wait for Universal and Blumhouse to give them the okay. um but I mean, this thing, it's gotten a bullet in the cheek, it's survived a fire plus 40 years of rot and damage. I mean, I don't know, there are so many factors in this, you know what I mean?
From this
uh
initial like breaking news, I guess there's just so many things to think about now in regards to how this
I know.
franchise is going to quote unquote end.
I don't know, man. I hope that there is a real legitimate reason. During this time in COVID, when David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, when they were rewriting the script or they were changing the story, um, I hope there's a legitimate reason that they're like, you know what, we're gonna change this, and we think we can tell a really cool story by pushing this a few years later. Um, but I fear that because they've already filmed Halloween Kills and the picture is locked,
Mhm.
I worry that the end of Kills and the beginning of Ends are not going to make any sense. And like we've said a couple of times, it cheapens the fact that he already escaped once in 78 and once in 18. Um, so I don't know, man.
You sound worried.
I am worried. I really am, because I was extremely excited. I mean, I've got my Halloween Kills poster. Like, I am jacked for Halloween Kills. I'm super excited. I think it has the potential to be my favorite in the franchise.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm really worried about how the trilogy is going to end. I really am. And
I'm with you,
this,
buddy.
I wasn't until I heard this news this morning.
Mhm.
Uh, and I've played it in my head a million times of how they can do it. I've seen a few people talk about the possibility of maybe they'll go the Halloween Returns route, which you don't even know what that is because I've never talked about it with you before. It was an unused script before they greenlit the 2018 movie. They were going to do a different sequel to the original, where Michael was put on death row. He was caught in 1978. He was put on death row, and basically he escapes um, just before they kill him, and the big fight takes place inside of Smith's Grove. And there's people that have speculated maybe he will get captured after Kills, and maybe this big final fight between him and Laurie takes place in Smith's Grove. But I don't really like that because he went back to Haddonfield for a reason. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, even in the Halloween Kills trailer, Lonnie says, if you trace Michael's victims, it leads you right to his childhood home. I mean, Michael's going home. That's the whole point. The night he came home, like that's the whole thing of him. And of course, who the hell knows? Does it make sense why he's going home? No. Do we
No.
need a reason? Do we need to know why he's going home? No. I worry that Halloween Ends is going to be cheapened by this, and who knows? We could be wrong. Halloween Ends may be the greatest Halloween film of all time, but I
It could be.
just
It
I
could
just
be
don't
like
know.
it could be like a psychological thing for Halloween Kills where they talk about the traumatic events or something like that. They could go down that path. That would
Yeah,
cheapen the whole horror aspect of it. I don't
right.
know. I hope they don't like. I hope they don't get too analytical with Halloween Kills. You know, where it gets
Yeah.
you really thinking because that's not the
Yeah.
type of movie Halloween should be. I get if I get it if what's that Stephen King movie or whatever, I forget what it's called. Or like the two couples going to into a little getaway, but she gets trapped in the house. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Misery?
Misery, I think. No, or not Misery. I'm trying to think. It's the most recent one. I think it's the Stephen King adaptation. If you
I don't know
haven't,
what
you
you're
gotta
talking
check
about.
it out. But
I don't know what you're talking
but
about.
you get what I'm saying, where it's like one of those movies where it's like really contemplating your life. It's like one of those. Like I
Yeah.
shit you not, if they try to pull some shit like that on Halloween, I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna be like entertained by that. Halloween is Halloween for a reason because it's basically just a serial killer against these innocents. And the caveat now is that the civilians are fighting back. So that's what made it more interesting for me, and I'm sure for a lot of like casual fans. And I mean, I could see what you say with that first theory, where it's like he gets captured and Halloween kills, and then Halloween ends. It's like him going on death row. I could see that, but again, it would. Gosh, golly, I don't know, man.
I just think it's too repetitive.
Yeah, repetitive.
I don't know. Halloween is about the mystery of Michael, and that's for me at least. That's what I like most about Halloween. That's why I'm drawn to it. I think is because it is a little bit different than most slashers because we don't understand everything about him. We don't understand his motive. We don't understand his purpose. And my fear is that Halloween ends in jumping forward and moving out of this night. If you keep the context of the story in this night, nobody has time to think. Nobody has time to really think of a plan of how to stop him. That's why Halloween Kills is going to be about a mob mentality, and it's going to be about people rising up to try and fight back in the moment. They don't have time to take a step back and think, okay, why is he doing this? How do we stop him? There's no time for that. If you jump 3 years in the future, I'm worried what we'll learn about Michael. I'm worried how they'll explain things. Um,
They'll need a
and
lot more
I,
exposition, which is unnecessary,
Exactly.
to be
And I
honest.
worry, especially I hope that he doesn't just like walk out into the woods somewhere and then no one knows where he is for 3 years and then suddenly he appears on Halloween 4 years later. Like no.
No.
No. This isn't Halloween 5, this isn't Halloween 6. None of that makes any sense. It's too much to explain. It's too much exposition.
It's
Uh
too much exposition that needs to be told again.
it,
It's like the whole like Martha and Thomas Wayne thing. It's like we've
yeah.
seen it so many times, we don't need to see it again. We
I
know how
think
much
it's
weight that scene is. We don't need to see it again because we already know. So if
yeah.
we're gonna see Michael Myers escape again and come back, I mean it's just gonna feel like, well, fuck, here comes hunting season again. Better get
Yeah.
ready.
I'm a little worried about this one. And I'm usually pretty excited about Halloween news.
Hmm.
But this one kind of has me like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, guys. If you're listening, please take a second. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. This one was a doozy. It caught us all off guard. Thank you so much to Sean Giroux and the guys over at Fandom Empire for breaking the news this morning. We'll be talking about this one for a while because this is crazy.
Hmm.
Be sure to pick up a copy of Total Film tomorrow morning because I am sure that there'll be more information in there. And remember that new episodes of Let's Talk Movies and Let's Talk Movie News drops every Monday and Friday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight, and be sure to watch the full episode tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. So take care, guys. We'll talk to you soon.